doctors, chiropractic doctors, Dr. John Thie and Dr. George Goodhart. They were basically at the source of kinesiology, and they discovered that the human body, particularly because they work in the muscles, they discovered the connection between muscles and anatomy and Chinese acupuncture system expressed through theory of 5 elements and 14 meridians. Right? So and that was basically the seed of this amazing science, which developed in many modalities. So it's practiced in many countries. You can study it as well. You study it as an exact science, but it allows you to explore life much further than what's in the book. So these two doctors, they actually went separate ways, because George Goodhart, he believed that kinesiology should be kept under the umbrella of chiropractic and offered only to doctors of chiropractic, which is limiting us, because nobody owns the energy, nobody owns this information, right? So, but we don't have rights to own anything that's universal. There is a reason why he wants it that way, because he probably didn't want it to be misused. But John Thie was a visionary. He wanted to give kinesiology to the world, and then he developed the very first modality. It's still practiced today. It's called Touch for Health. Right? It is the foundation of this work. So to better understand all this, I've got this energy model, and basically we start from Newtonian paradigm, which is the palpable world, right? And we end up with nothingness, which is the quantum physics. So if anybody understands this matter, if you look at the quantum physics, you'll realize that we are nothing. We don't even exist. That's basically what this is all about. But we have this palpable world, and approximately 10% of who we are in its entirety comprises of physical body and 12 layers of aura. That's all it is. So about 90% of who we are, it's not visible, or we can't perceive it with our 5 senses, right? But it's still there. So the fact that we can't perceive the universe or all frequencies doesn't mean that it's not there, it doesn't exist, or that it should be ignored. Because really we function according to the laws of the universe rather than the laws of some science, or more recently all these experts that are coming out. So we're starting with the whole body, and then we have organ systems. So body is comprised with some systems. True? Agree with that? Okay. So then you go below organ system, and you focus on a single organ, specific organ. Then organ has particular tissue, and tissue is organized by number of cells. So you go deeper into cells, you find molecules, right? And then you go deeper into molecules, you find atoms. True? And then you go deeper into atoms, and you find subatomic particles. And this is where the fun starts. Any science is limited by the level at which it observes the world. So it's a little bit unfair to say that we know something only because we have a particular instrument. So we are limited with the instrument. We can't see this, right? But that's why we build the instruments. And it is diametrically opposite correlation between the level of observation and the size of the instrument, right? So for us to go into subatomic level, we need huge instruments such as Hadron Collider underneath Switzerland, France. It's a huge... CERN. There's one in USA as well,
Right.
but CERN is more popular. So it's a tunnel and all that stuff, but in itself it's an instrument. So what they do with very powerful magnets, they speed up subatomic particles, and then they align them and they bang them one against the other, and then they'll see what happens, right? So they want to find out the God's particle. That's what they want to find out, right? As if it's somewhere else, right? It's right in here. And then when we go underneath, when we break the atom, right? The most simple atom, you know, to explore is a hydrogen, right? So it consists of nucleus and one electron spinning around. So all matter, for example, this plastic or this carpet or all this body, right, depends on number of electrons that are spinning around the nucleus. So when you're talking about the electron as a physical matter, although nobody caught it, so we don't even know if it's a physical matter, right? It's just a theory, right? All these electrons, they're identical. So the number of electrons and the layers in which they spin determine the quality of the matter. You know, quite amazing. So which basically we can say that everything that we see is actually comes from the same source. So it's a much deeper subject. So then there's a really good material called the Tao of Physics, written by Fritjof Capra, and in there he's a quantum physics scientist, and in there he says that all this research that happened comes to one conclusion, that the subatomic particle appears as a frequency, right? So it appears as a energy deviation of empty space, right? So it's really interesting, right? Now, what is empty space and what is the energy deviation? This is something which I think I experienced in this near-death experience, where I came to realize the infinite potentiality, right? Or unmanifested universe and manifested universe. So the friction between the two is what we call chi energy. So that's basically something to think about. Why I'm saying this is because we are that. We are governed by the laws of the universe, and it's happening right now. So to make it simple, we're going to call this chi. It's the same thing. They call it ki, they call it prana, bioenergy, they call it consciousness, they call it God, they call it source, supreme, whatever, right? It's energy. There are many names for the same thing. In the original translation from Chinese, qi means nothingness, fog, space, etc. So it was really interesting when I studied kinesiology in Australia and I had a practice day. I decided to return back to Bosnia, and people knew nothing about it, and they predicted me a total failure. Like, oh, nobody's going to believe in that. And they started calling me a seller of fog. It's a expression in our language. When somebody's living out of nothing, they say, oh, he's selling fog. And I thought that was actually inadvertent compliment, because they actually said exactly what this is all about. So there are a number of things just to keep in mind. Soul as an energy, spirit as an energy activator, matter is the manifested energy, and source is also what they call in Chinese tradition Tao, consciousness, Shiva, God. Right? So Tao is the combination of yin and yang, and we're going to talk about that. Any questions so far? No? Okay. So chi energy is organized in channels, or we call them meridians, but we can call them channels. There's 5,500 meridians in total, I think, and they all connect in third eye here. Okay, but we have 14 major ones which govern everything. So and also we have system of chakras which govern the other bits and pieces which are important, right? So they are the major meridians, and it is enough if we observe and correct these major ones, then the body aligns itself. Okay. So we have 14 meridians. Two of them are governors. So the two of them are controlling the whole system, right? The 12 of them are systemic. So they deal with your kidney and heart and liver and small intestine, etc. Yin and yang. In layman terms, a lot of times people say yin is female, yang is male, right? This has nothing to do with gender, okay? It's the quality of the energy, right? So each one of us, we do have yin and yang, right? Depends how we use it. Yang is pushing, achieving, things like that. Yin is introspection, regeneration, nurturing, and so on. Okay, so they're the qualities, right? Yin organs which work 24/7. So they are, for example, kidney meridian. It has different frequency and works all the time. Yang, the partner of yin and yang, kidney's partner is urinary bladder. A urinary bladder works as per need. So when it fills up, we need to go and wee, and then bladder goes to sleep. Whereas kidneys, they work all the time. So what we are trying to achieve is the balance of yin and yang. Sorry, I didn't translate this. Just 2 weeks ago I had this presentation in my country, so yeah, that's the other. I knew.
You can read it.
It means optimal health, right? So the balance of yin and yang will give you optimal health. This is a very interesting system, and I use this system as a primary tool for, I will try to avoid word diagnostics, right? But for the lack of a better word, you know, we can use word diagnostics. I use word assessment, okay? So here you can see in these circles, there are different colors. The flow of chi energy is organized in elements. They have their names, but it doesn't matter, right? Starting with the blue one, that's water, and green is wood, red is fire, yellow is earth, and gray is metal, okay? And things circle, always clockwise. So in each of these elements, you have pairs. So the inner ones, they are yin, they work all the time. Your lung, kidney, liver, heart, circulation and reproductive organs, spleen, pancreas, they are yin, and then these other ones, they are yang. So we are trying to achieve the balance between these two, yin and yang, within the element, and also respecting that the energy needs to flow without any blockages from one element to another. So we have two major cycles. We have a Shen cycle, which is this one. It actually gives the energy. And we have Ko cycle, which is this 5-star thing inside, which controls the energy. Okay, so if the giving energy is in balance and controlling energy is in balance, and the relationship between yin and yang within the element is in balance, then we have optimum health. Right? Very simple. Okay? So what I found really interesting is that, you know, people came to me because they experienced some difficulties in life, whether it's physical, mental, emotional, etc. And it was always interesting to plot this here, right? So people would come, let's say, with a thyroid issue, right? And I never found thyroid issue to be priority. So I always found that there was something else blocking it. So I would resolve the blockage point, and then the disease would disappear, you know. So and it was really fascinating, you know. And the issue can present itself physically in so many ways, right? And it's not the same for every person. That's the beauty of this, because you can really fine tune anybody as per that person. It's unique. This life expression is unique, and it never happened before and won't happen again. So this system allows us to examine the person to an absolute depth of it. So things to note. Yeah, every ailment or disease is a blockage of G energy. So that is absolutely true. And according to this previous slide, where we saw how we start from the body to energy, to frequency, to fix something, we need to really go down at the very beginning of it, and that's the frequency. So you fix frequency, then the atom is fixed, then the molecule is fixed, then tissue is fixed, then cell is fixed, and organ, system, and body. That's how it works. There are, when you assessing the energy level, there are certain observations. Over energy meridian, there's too much energy, right? And under energy. So in medical terms, over energy will give you inflammation on the tissue. Under energy, degeneration of the tissue, right? And then energy balance is opening health. Triple Warmer, that's a yang meridian, and it's a physiological meridian. It's called triple warmer because it looks after creating the heat in the body in 3 regions: your head, your chest, and your pelvis, right? It looks after your thyroid gland, parathyroid gland, and your adrenals, right? And it's also involved in your hormones. Sorry? HPA? It looks after endocrine system, but the governor of endocrine system there are 2 nucleuses in the brain which are governed by central nervous system. It's all connected, right? So these 2 guys, central meridian and governing, they're not part of this. They are overseas, right? Okay, so this is a real life example. So you see how this works. So somebody came to me, and this is actually taken from my session notes, right? Heart palpitations, pain in knees, low energy, lethargy and weak will, fear and insecurity, lack of faith in myself and future, financial worries. Okay? Can you relate to this? How many people here can relate to this? Yeah? Okay? See? Okay. So what I found, and this is basically for that person, for you, for example, could be something else, right? But anyway, what I found is that the main issue for that person was self-limiting opinions from authorities, right? Which is making us small. We shrink in front of authorities, and that's stemming from early childhood, you know, our relationship with father or whoever, okay? Or if you had dominant mother, you know, and all that stuff. So, you know, there are issues which start at the very beginning of our life, and we basically coin them as our attitudes. They are negative belief systems about ourselves. Emotion, anxiety about the future, feeling troubled, and attitude, lack of direction. So if you don't have a high purpose or aim at which is directing your life, anybody will direct you, and they will direct you according to their life experience, not yours. Okay, and then we end up in a situation where, because of the opinions from authorities, people that we deem as authority, you know, we end up listening to what is really not our truth, and this is where trouble starts. Okay? And then the body will react, and the body will react by giving you the symptoms. So our soul wants to go this way, right? But the mind says, no, go this way, right? And basically I end up like a Jesus, you know, on the cross. So the body will start giving you signs. So every disease also is an opportunity to heal ourselves in real terms. So basically, examining this person, I found, plus is over energy. Doesn't mean good or bad, or positive, or minus or bad. That doesn't mean that way. So plus is over energy, minus is under energy, and then we find the culprit. You know, in this case, it was the blockage on large intestine, which was preventing the flow of energy towards lungs, and then the relationship between lungs and heart. So when you look at it this way, this immediately discovers the emotional states, because our invisible part, that 90% of us, is actually at the cause of our issue, not the body. Body is healthy, you know. You take ego out of body, body heals. Nobody bothers it, you know. We don't react to stimulus. So lack of direction projects itself as feeling troubled. That's the source for our thoughts. We identify with the thoughts, and the body reacts by giving us emotion, from word energy in motion, right? So it's basically changing the flow of chi energy. So as every meridian has a particular frequency, and it's been measured recently in hertz. Every organ has a slightly different frequency. The system will give the frequency of the negative emotion to the one that is strong, and that meridian will usually, given the time, show problems with the organ of health. Right? But we can return this into original state. So basically, we go through from symptoms to assessment, and then we apply corrections, and then we use this information to elevate one's awareness and frequency in relation to an issue. So the moment we become aware which emotion is causing the back pain, the system resolves the problem 60% at least. Just becoming aware, because we are not identifying with it anymore, but we are looking at it from a different angle. So it's very healthy to think like this. If you become angry, right? You experienced anger, yeah? Okay. Or fear, okay? So we don't say, I am angry. Rather, I say, I feel there's anger in me. And it's a profound difference, right? So I acknowledge that the anger is there, right? And I'm making separation from myself, my true self, and the process that's happening in me, right? If I say I am angry, I'm totally identified with it, and I feel it all the way. Make sense? Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay. Any questions on this? Anybody with the pain here?
Definitely.
Yeah?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, do you want to come here? You want to come up? Yeah, you.
We need victims.
So you have some pain, yeah?
I do.
Where's the pain?
It's
In the chest.
No, it's yeah. It started off with the chest.
Yeah.
But now it's in the night or during the day when I need to burp. I feel pain as if I'm having a heart attack. So.
Okay.
And it can be anywhere.
And that scares you.
Of course.
Yes, of course. Okay, just hold your hand like this. So I'll just demonstrate how body actually responds. Okay, just hold like this. Okay. So what I'll do, you think about your issue, right? And you can actually place your hand where you feel it the most. There. About there. Yeah. Do you feel anything now? No. Okay. So just think about that. So what I'll do, I'll just run through alarm points. So each one of these meridians, it has a particular energy point. When you gently touch that point and do a muscle test, muscle will either hold or unlock, right? And you will feel it, okay? And then we're testing in the priority mode, which means we're going to ignore all outages. I'm going to find only the culprit, the one that caused this issue. Yeah, makes sense? Okay. So I'll just go like this. This is your lungs here, right? And then this is your circulation meridian and your heart. See, it's coming up in the heart, right? Okay. Oh, sorry about that. So you hold like this, you feel the hand is holding. So when I gently touch here, we get unlocked. Yeah? Okay, that's it. Right? So there's issue with your heart, right? But it doesn't mean let me find out. So there's nothing structural and physiological, but there's an emotional aspect of it, right? So if you agree, if you allow me, I can find emotion if you want to share it. Are you okay with that? Okay? So let's find out. Okay, it's coming from stomach meridian, so I'll just find out. Emotion number 6, okay? And it's oriented self to self. So it's the emotion which is telling us that you have an issue with yourself, yeah? Okay. So usually it's always relationship, right? We struggle with relationship with ourselves, with others, and others with ourselves. That's basically 90% of our issues. So I'll tell you in a second. Let me get to my chart. So this emotion, okay, hunger. Okay, hunger.
Okay. No, my friends are laughing because I'm doing a cleanse.
Okay, see the subconscious is actually doing something for this person, right? But the issue is not in the physical hunger, right? The issue is basically in hunger for your own time and space. Make sense? So you see, you have some tears coming out. You know? Okay. So that's the core of the issue. So why heart? Because our heart is suffering. You know, we are not acknowledging our heart. You know, your heart's desire. You know, you're listening to what other people say or what authorities say and all that. Okay, makes sense?
Yes.
Okay. So with
It already made sense when you were talking about it.
Yes.
So I found the culprits already.
Yes, that's good. Right. So now you already 60% resolved this issue. Right. So we can go deeper and find the relation between organs inside of the body, and then offer some solutions. But I'll tell you for the heart. Give me your hands. Right. To energize your heart. Right. You need to massage this point. Is it painful here? Yeah, like it's painful because the energy is blocked, right? So you need to massage this while thinking about your life situation. What's preventing you to live the aspiration of your heart? Make sense? Okay. And then you will see the cleansing will happen, right? Everything will align. So the reason, for example, why we don't eat properly is not because of our ignorance, it's because of the stress, you know. So if you are focused for the future, then what we'll do, we will choose the food full of carbohydrates, which will immediately body will convert it into fat because the brain needs to survive. We've given a negative picture of the future to our brain, and brain needs energy to survive. And that's why it will ask for carbohydrates rather than, painful in there? Okay, right. So that's basically...
I do have heart palpitations.
Yes.
And fear.
Yeah.
And that's
yeah, what happens is, you see, if you block the heart, have a look here. If you block the heart, the energy will like here, you know, the energy will hit and come back as over energy. So your heart is returning the energy back to liver, right? And then you know, with liver over energy, you may be waking up in the middle of the night between 1 and 3 a.m. Yeah. Because the liver is over energy, but not because there's something wrong with the liver. It's because heart is not connecting, right? And then it's affecting your pericardium, circulation, sex meridian. So that's why the heart struggles, you know, because the heart, you know, the system works out the heart doesn't have energy, and then it basically uses circulation, sex meridian to control the heart, and that's why you'll see the heart like almost fighting within itself. Yeah.
It stops and then
Yes.
goes back.
Yeah. Yeah. So do this point, right? 3 times per day, 2 or 3 minutes per day. Think about the issue, right? And do it for a couple of days, and you'll be gone. So that's the first step. So the next step is how to maintain this, you know. So one thing is fixing you, right? But with this awareness, are you going to continue the old way? That's for you to work out. Yeah. But we can also find out when the issue really started. How old are you now?
I'm 46.
Okay. Okay, age 15, age 14. So something must have happened at that age. Think about it.
Okay, now I'm going to start crying because this is when the war started in
Yes.
Bosnia.
Oh, okay. There you go. So what's the hunger? Hunger for home.
Yugoslavia?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. There's a lot to it, right? So you will see now that the pattern appearing, right?
I don't think we can do anything about it.
No, you can't do nothing about the war, but you can do something about yourself.
It's good it's not my husband.
He will get it later. Okay, thank you. Okay. So this is just a grain of salt in the ocean of possibilities. So, you know, so how would medicine deal with this? You know, she would probably get a beta blocker, right? Something that ends with lol, atenolol. And they tell you, oh, this is strengthening your heart. What's actually happening? It's evening your heartbeat. So when you're running, when you have to do something, when you need your pulse, the tablet is keeping it down. You know, so it's quite dangerous.
Is there any other volunteer who likes to?
But I will.
Ja, zeg maar jongens. Als u even komen. Handbal. Slijsten. Ik zie je. Ja, ga maar.
Okay, so you agree for me to test you like this, okay? And you agree to share your information.
Yes.
Right? If you don't, I'll do it silently. Yeah? Fine, okay? Any pains in the body?
Yes. My lower back here.
Lower back pain?
Yeah.
Usually, lack of support, right? For men, it's a financial thing. For women, it's an emotional thing. Make sense?
Yeah.
Okay, so think about that. Okay, hold here. You can hold that spot. Alright. So excuse me. So let's see this person. He's lean and young. Okay. So and he's not doing any heavy lifting, right?
Did.
Yeah, did right?
Yeah.
And then people have herniated disc, things like that. It doesn't make sense, So we need to find out what's going on. Okay, so hold here, right? Just gently hold. Don't give me any strength or resistance. and I'll just do a quick test. So your right lung. You see, your right lung is about the exchange of energy with the universe. So you have a problem with receiving and giving. Make sense?
Yeah.
So this is the issue of your finances, right? So you may be giving more, but you are blocking the receiving bit. Yeah, makes sense? Okay. So what we then do, we overwork ourselves because we don't respect or value ourselves. Okay. So that's the issue we have. Okay. And then the body is telling you. Okay. So let's see. So. Okay, emotion. So hold here. Governing testing. Okay, the governing number 1. Okay, this emotion is called embarrassment. Okay, it's projected from others on you. Okay, people in general, which means it's probably some problem with society or your circle of people. So they are projecting embarrassment on you, which is blocking you. Make sense? Mm-hmm. So embarrassment is like when you are on the stage, when you are on the hot spot. Okay, so we are confused. It's a state of confusion. Mm-hmm. Make sense? Sure.
Yes, I'm confused in this time frame at the moment. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
I'm for a lot of decisions. Do I stay in Holland? Do I emigrate to somewhere else?
Somewhere else.
Finances.
Yes.
Involved with that. So,
yes, correct. Yeah. And also lack of support.
Yeah.
Lack of support. Yeah. So let me find out a bit more. Okay. So I need to go beyond this emotion. So I'll just find where is this coming from. Okay. So this is circulation and reproductive organs and central meridian. Okay. So this is. Let me check my chart. So here for you, we're going to find the reason why I have this emotion. With her, I didn't do this, right?
Super interesting.
So hold here. Okay, melancholy. Melancholy is the feeling, yeah? Makes sense?
Yeah.
Okay. So also lung meridian is also about grieving, being hurt, sadness and deep melancholy. Makes sense? Okay? And that's the feeling. So the feeling is the root for the thoughts. So yeah, melancholy. That's like deep sadness, feeling blue, feeling down. Yeah. Okay. So that feeling we project, we emit that energy, frequency. The thoughts arise from there, and then we identify with the thoughts, and body will react by giving us emotion. Right? Make sense?
Yes. The melancholy comes from what's going on in the world right now.
Exactly.
The insecurities that are involved with that. The sadness that I also feel, but also trying to convince family, friends, and not being heard.
Yes.
And yeah, that is basically.
Yeah, that's it. So there's a lot going on for him, right? And he's bearing it himself on his back. Okay, and then we'll find now the actual diagnosis. Why is this so? So hold here. Relax, like that. Just hold it like that. Okay, you're testing for high and low energy swings.
High and low.
And so you are oscillating in the energy. So one day you want to move, and then the other, I can't do it, and so on. Okay. Yeah, and that's the attitude. Attitude is the belief systems. This is your social survival. Okay, so it is the system designed to protect you. Okay, so when there's a trouble, you'll go low, right? When trouble looks like it's gone, then you want to do something, right? So this is that's how you've been trying to survive in this world for, let's see, how old are you now?
46.
Okay. Okay, age 24 is coming up for you. So there had to be an event which triggered this.
I got a relationship, and it was actually a very good relationship.
Yeah, but what happened?
Still a soulmate. But
So coming down to the feeling melancholy and being embarrassed.
24. Ah. At my work.
It makes sense?
At my work, and that's the reason why I wanted to become independent and not work for a boss
Yeah.
anymore.
Okay. So what you need to do, you don't need to change countries or planets. Just change here, right? And for you, there are two other things: nervous excitability, overreactivity to stimulation, especially mental. You are reacting on what people say. You know, stop watching the news. How do you? Does anybody?
I don't watch the news,
Yeah.
but I watch all the alternative news.
But still,
Yeah.
still, alternative news is giving you exactly the same paradigm. You know.
Exactly.
So, you know, fear from this and fear from that.
Exactly.
You know, it's
Yeah.
fear, isn't it?
Yeah.
You know, you remember this so-called pandemic wasn't that long ago. You know, there was fear from virus. You know, the most primitive form of life put the whole mankind on its knees. Doesn't make sense, right? So there was fear. Okay, I'm gonna die. But then these guys came with the fear of I don't know, being vaccinated or this, that, and the other. Okay, I don't support it anyway. But what I'm saying is that it's the same fear, you know. So nothing changed really.
It's also fear, and that's also something that because I know where it's going with the World Health Organization, the new pandemic that's going to be organized, the la 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 la
Yeah.
la, all the things getting in place.
Okay, so how do we solve this?
Yeah,
Right?
not being
Okay.
not being involved with that
Yeah.
anymore. Just more focusing on myself.
Correct, and it's a deeper spiritual question because this civilization started at some point and it's probably going through its peak and it will go into demise. Understand that? Yeah. So you look at any civilization on this planet, right? It appeared, came to its climax and went down, disappeared, right? So sooner or later, this civilization will do the same. Okay, so what you can do about it?
Focusing on being in a higher vibration.
Correct. And that's what you can give to the world.
Yeah.
So this world is better if I'm better.
Yeah.
Right? So me trying to force the change, you know, you bring anyone and if you tell them, hey, this is good for you, they'll throw it back at you, you know, because they don't want to change. So what do we do about that? You know, so all I can do to this universe, I can give my enlightenment back to the universe. That's all. And it's sitting in all of us. Yeah. Makes sense? So, so think about this. Learn to handle greater intensities of stimulation with ease and energy, the mental, emotional and etheric levels remaining grounded and aligned. So this is also a call for you to do some grounding exercises, you know, walk barefoot, you know, sleep without clothes and all that stuff. Be in touch with natural materials.
I have an earthing sheet.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so spend time, ground yourself, and also make sure that no matter what happens in the world, all your energies are aligned. Because I can tell you from my experience, from that near-death experience that I had, I realized that the universe can disappear, which actually disappeared. It was like this, right? But I can't disappear. You know, that's the thing. So no matter what happens, it's impossible to disappear, right? And then you live freely. Okay?
Yes.
Okay. No worries. Okay, good. Thank you.
Not even a medicine? Not even an injection?
Well, they will bring it to me, you know, so I have to fix it. Okay. Any questions on this?
Yeah.
Yes, please.
Zoran, when will you start classes in this in Holland?
Okay. Soon.
But it will be nice.
Soon. My intention is to teach people about moksha DNA because it goes much deeper than this. It actually encompasses all this, right? And
Let it spread.
sorry?
Let it spread.
Yes. So my intention is to teach this. Yeah, that's soon. I'll be coming to Europe now sooner than what I used to. But you know, keep in mind, I was sitting on this for 4 years. You know, for 4 years I just couldn't come out because of everything. You know, but I think time is right because as the darkness is pulling one way, also light is pulling the other way. You know, and it's an opportunity for all of us.
It's needed.
Question?
Yeah. This chart, is you invented it or is
No, this is 5,000 years old chart.
Yeah. So if I go on the internet, I can find
You can find it. Just type 5-element. I think it's called
Yeah, I know.
theory of 5 elements or something. 5-element
Yeah.
chart.
This is quite elaborate.
It is, but you know, I had many examples where people had certain physical diagnosis, you know, and I was able to help them by pointing out which organ was a problem organ, right? And so you raise the energy on that organ and everything dissolves, you know. Yeah.
But like how to massage that this and the muscle testing.
Yes.
You also, because that's also sort of known, is it?
Yes, muscle test is it's a known technique, kinesiology muscle test, and there were medical doctors who made PhD on that subject. So it's been scientifically proven, and the accuracy of muscle test is 99.99%. I think it's 100%, but we can't say 100%, so that's why we say 99.99%. It also depends of your frequency. So as your frequency is higher, the accuracy of test is much higher. You know, but it's a different thing. I can explain that to you later. It's not part of this. Yeah. Okay. Any questions? Yeah. Good. So this continues on these two examples that I just did, mind and body connection. I used to lecture about this. So what we covered in this little demo, impressions saved in residual memory, and we are a bundle of 3 memories, right? Past lives, DNA lineage, you know what that is? They are your ancestors, okay? And this life. Okay, so that it's stored in the cellular memory. So DNA and past life are stored in your DNA molecule, and your brain has full access to it. Right? So what you say about yourself, I am, really is a bundle of reactions based on past traumas. Okay. So that's what we are. So we need to resolve that to come to clean self, to our essence, who we are. So beliefs, they lead into life attitudes. Just a little pathway for you to remember. So beliefs, they lead into life attitudes. Attitude is our inclination. Something happens and I react. So how do I know that I reacted according to me or according to the pattern? Right? You will know in a situation of crisis. Okay, let's say pandemic, you know. Okay. you know, but that's stemming from your ancestors, you know. So there's a difference between impulse and instinct. Instinct always protects life and knows the truth. Impulse is part of this impressions thing. Life attitudes are projected through feelings. Feelings create thoughts. Identification with thoughts, it's a really swift process. It takes about 4 milliseconds before thought arising and us identifying with the thought. So it is really swift process, you know. So when you say, you know, being aware, it really means being aware 24/7. Then we have body reaction, which is emotion, and then blockage of chi energy flow, and then we go into compensation, which leads into the 3 stages of stress. So first is alarm, second one is adaptation syndrome, and the last one is exhaustion, right? And they all have medically related symptoms to it. Okay, so they're medically recognized stages of stress. Then we have functional disease. This is basically disease in making. So compensation, given the time, 10, 20 years, whatever, right, will end up with some disease. Okay. So by putting body back in balance, we basically cut this somewhere here at the very beginning, and we change the course of our life. Right? Which doesn't mean that was the only impression or pattern in us. It gives opportunity to work on more stuff. Any questions on this? Okay, so now this was about kinesiology and what the tool that I used to find this moksha DNA. So we're going to talk a little bit about DNA now. Okay, so far, now this is a really large part of the science, and I'm just going to keep it in a simple terms, right? So that we understand some basic things, right? Because we don't need to become scientists. We just need to understand how this is all connected, right? Then we can move into doing something about it. According to the theory, DNA is made of 2 linked strands. They are these 2 yellow guys. They wind around each other to resemble a twisted ladder, right? A shape known as a double helix. In reality, DNA doesn't really look like this. You know, this is just a model. But let's say if it looks like this. So these strands, they're also called the backbones. They're made of alternating sugar and phosphate group molecules. So they alternate. Okay. And attached to these, so what's connecting them? They are the triplets, or the 3 pairs of polymers. So they're also called polymers, these things, right? And they have 4 bases, right? And they are adenine, thymine, cytosine, and guanine, right? And they come in a precise combination. So one of this set is called codon, right? Codon from the name code, so it's coding something, right? This T-thymine is also used as uracil, okay? If you read information about this, you will find uracil, okay? So ACGU you will find, not ACGT, but that's just how it is, okay? Any questions on this? No?
You all get it.
You get it. All right. Okay, so what are the codons, right? From the word codon. So it's a sequence of 3 consecutive nucleotides in a DNA or RNA molecule. So in reality, there are 64 different codons, right? And what they do is